The other day I had someone tell me, I would have thought you'd be an Apple Watch guy, which is basically the 21st century version of calling someone a nerd. Because they're basically saying, oh yeah, I would have thought you'd have a computer nearby at all times. A visible computer. Everyone has a phone, right? But I would have thought you would need one on your wrist. Because look at you. You look like that guy. It always needs a computer around. Because you don't have friends, you know? When do you turn to a computer? You turn to a computer when you need some form of companionship, some form of engagement, not like a marriage, but just some social interaction because you can't get it in real life. So you turn to a computer because it gives you this network of anyone in the entire world. And someone is saying that you need a computer on you at all times is basically saying because you can't get social interaction in real life. And I was like, okay, message received, understood. But I agreed. I was like, yeah, look at me. I would look like an Apple Watch guy, right? But why am I not? It made me curious. Why is someone that looks like this not an Apple Watch guy? And immediately I had one thought, which is, well, why do you need an Apple Watch, right? Think about it. Why is some solution not addressing a problem? It's because maybe there isn't a problem. There is actually a big problem. And the Apple Watch would highlight that, which is why I don't wear it. This is why I don't wear an Apple Watch. And this is what I told this person. I said, why would I need an Apple Watch, right? What's that going to do that my phone doesn't? It's going to track my steps. That's all it's going to be useful for, right? That's the only reason I would get an Apple Watch, is so they would track steps. And do I want my steps tracked? Of course not. Because then it will be a reminder that I don't walk very much. And he immediately agreed. He was like, that's actually, no, that's a good point. Because that's the only thing that an Apple Watch would offer besides my phone. I don't like having an Apple Watch have notifications on it. If I'm going to get notifications, I want to pull my phone out and it has to be purposeful. I don't want to just, I don't want my phone to have such easy access to me. I don't even like people having easy access to me. That's why, in person work is tough because you're just in a cubicle or whatever, right? Or you're reachable in person. You could be going to the bathroom and someone could be like, hey, Gauruv, 1 sec. And I'm like, you shouldn't be allowed to do this, okay? The minute I've gotten up and elected to go to the bathroom, I should disappear. You shouldn't be able to see me. If I'm going, we should have an update, human beings, that if we stand up and our bladder's full, we should disappear. Is that a safety risk? Yeah, maybe, okay? But when are you ever, actually, no, I can think immediately. I already thought. I was like, well, whenever you're ever going to be like outside in like harm's way with a full bladder, road trip, absolutely road trip. You pull over to the gas station, a minivan pulls over to a gas station, all four doors open, but you don't see anyone leaving. You're like, what the fuck is going on over there? It's because everyone's bladder's full. And then as they walk to the gas station, you can't see them because they're all like, ooh, I gotta pee, I gotta pee. That's because that's what humans say when they have to pee. They grab their bladders or wherever a bladder would be, and they go, ooh, I gotta pee, I gotta pee. Yeah, but I don't like people having like easy access to me, right? So if I put a thing on my wrist that was my phone, basically, that's people being right there. I could go to sleep like this, and then ooh, boom, there's a person right there. I hate that. I don't like that. One thing I noticed that started happening ever since I started putting myself on the internet, freshman year of college, a pattern emerged. A thing I saw was happening frequently, and on paper you're like, oh, that's great. It looks like a problem was solved. But to me, it created more problems. But I have to admit, coming from a place of privilege, because this is actually a good problem to have. And the problem that I now have is that a lot of people reach out to you. Ever since I started putting myself on the internet, I became accessible. And I didn't even think about this. When I started making videos and like online content, I didn't think about the fact that, oh yeah, you become more accessible, which is, like I said, the very pro of social media, right? You put yourself on this online network so that more people can see you, more people can reach you. You get social interaction easier. But what this also meant was that I woke up one morning when I was a freshman in college. I picked up my phone and I had notifications on it. And I was like, wait, this has happened a few times. There's now been a few mornings where every day I wake up, I look at my phone, and there's a few notifications. I was like, why is this happening now? Usually I wake up and my phone's dry, But now I wake up and my phone's wet as fuck. I'm like, Jesus, why are you all, why are you drenched? What's all the, I was asleep. I wasn't playing with you at all. How are you soaking wet? But it's because now that I put stuff online, people can view it, interact with it, engage with it at any time in the day. So now they have that. And then they also see that, oh, yeah, you are online. You keep reminding people that you exist. When I post content frequently enough, I don't really do it that often. Like even this podcast, I didn't post an episode last week. I got very sick. So I skipped a week. I hope you'll forgive me. But you guys did like the last video. I just want to say thank you. Great job on that. You guys are great. So I just want to say I think it's a fluke though. I don't think you can repeat your performance. That's right. I think you're a one pump chump. You're a one hit wonder. I bet you can't like this video. Is this guy doing reverse psychology? Wow, he's really smart. It's that UC Davis education paying off. Go Ags. Am I right? But no, that's just a long way of saying please like this video too. We gotta. There's upkeep that is required on this thing. I need weekly likes. Okay. So thank you. Good job last time, but keep it up. Okay. But yeah, when you post like every week, you're basically like, here I am, a reminder that I exist. And people are like, oh yeah, huh. And then sometimes, depending on how people feel, that post is going to go a long way. A handful of people are going to see it. And maybe one of those 5 people is like, oh yeah, I'm feeling like reaching out today. I'm going to text Gauruv. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not, you don't have to do that. But you see, this is where I'm stuck. This is where I'm at a crossroads because this is wonderful. You want to get to a place in life where people feel comfortable reaching out and that you do even have a network and a group of friends that would feel okay, being reminded of you and then being like, I want to reach out. I should say something. That's the good side of my brain. Then there's the other side of my brain where I'm like, can we just leave me alone? Like, but that sucks, right? Because when you do put yourself online, you're signing up for this. You're signing up for people being constantly reminded of you and then being like, oh yeah, I should say a thing. But then you also are yourself. And myself is saying, can we just look at that? See, I put it online. Do you ever think about this? I put myself online, that amount of me, so you can look at that. So you don't have to look at the real one. Just look at that. You don't have to look this way because I put on a show, just look at that. That should be sufficient. But it's not. Apparently people are like, I need more of that. I'm like, you should see a doctor. That seems like an issue. Because if you see the content I post online and you're like, I need more Gauruv, something is up with you. I'm just letting you know. Because that's a lot of this. But that's my problem with, Apple Watches. They're right there. I don't like that. I don't like that I could do a jumping jack and then be like, oh God, I have stuff to do. And that's the problem. When I was a freshman in college, I would wake up and look at my phone and all these people would reach out to me and it would be so wonderful, right? Like, oh my God, I'm so blessed to have all these people so amazing in my life. But also, I have a very weird interaction with like notification on my phone. I see it as like a to-do list and I shouldn't. This is something I feel like I need to get over or like work through. But whenever I see text, I don't think, oh yeah, you could just respond. Like I already think of the response in my head. I immediately think, oh, well, that's fucking something I have to do, which is bad. It's not a good thing, but that's what would happen. I would wake up as a freshman in college, look at my phone, all these notifications, and I was like, God damn it. The day just started and I already have a to-do list. And I know, wow, first world problems. Man, shut the fuck. Are you saying you have too many friends? Yeah. And it's a problem, okay? It's becoming a lot. uh, you thought I'd deny that shit, right? No, I'm fully acknowledging I have first world problems. And I'm complaining about those motherfuckers, man. That's all I got, I see everyone else has problems and I feel left out. That's the crazy part. One of my problems is that I don't have problems. So I create my own problems so I have something to complain about too. I want to fit in. I don't want to be a social pariah, I want to bitch and moan too. Just like you. And I do. I complain about having too many friends. But the thing is, if I got an Apple Watch, all the use it would be to me is tracking my steps, and I don't need that. And immediately the guy that I was talking to was like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point. I wouldn't want that either," because I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I go to sleep at the night and be like, oh, a daily recap, 600 steps," and it's like, oh. And the sad part isn't even that you walked 600 steps. The sad part is it's like, wow, that's 100 better than yesterday, and you're like, oh my god, am I that much of a loser? But you got to treat those things like PE growing up. PE, physical education. You know the course. It's everyone's favorite class. Haha. That was always stupid. Oh yeah, do an about me page. What's your favorite class? What is this? What are we doing? You know the goofballs. They would always say lunch or recess. I'm like, you're in 11th grade. Okay, you don't have recess. Shut the fuck up. Grow up. Okay. But yeah, in PE, they would grade you because you need a grade attached because it's a class. And so that would be, you get graded on your mile, your pacer test, if you know what that is, your mile and a half, just all the things. And so what I would do, and I'm sure everyone else would do it, is at the beginning of the year, you would do the bare minimum to get like a passing grade, like a B or whatever, just so that every week you could beat it, so that you get an A. It's the smart and obvious thing to do. And that's what I would start doing with my steps. I'd be like, okay, well now, now I'm not gonna like if I got 600 the day before, I'm not gonna go 1200 the next day. No, that's fucking ridiculous. What am I doing? Why would I double my steps in one day? That's dumb. How am I gonna repeat that? That's gonna be very difficult. 1200 is not difficult, but I would go 700. So that the next day I'd go 800 and be like, well, look at that. Now at the end of 30 days, my little computer on my wrist is going to tell me I did a really good job. I improved every day. You have to engineer your success. You don't actually have to be successful in life. You just have to frame things and engineer them in a way that makes it look like you're actually accomplishing something. That's right. That's why don't get anyone birthday gifts. Don't get anyone holiday, gifts. Don't get people Christmas gifts. That way, after 20 years of not getting anyone gifts, when you finally give someone gifts for the first time, you can be like, well, look how amazing that is, considering I didn't give anyone gifts for 20 fucking years. And then people will be like, well, that's true. Yeah, we put our expectations so low that this is actually fucking amazing. Whereas if you're the person that's been giving gifts for 21 years straight, it's expected. You can only set yourself up for failure if you give people gifts every year. You got to keep them guessing, You got to be like, I didn't give you a gift for the past 2 years. Let's see if I give you one this year. You can only succeed in that because if you don't give them a gift, they're like, well, yeah, of course. But if you do, they're like, oh, hey, thanks. What I'm saying is you have to emotionally abuse people, You can't be a source of trust with people. You got to be very distrustful so that when you are able to be trusted, people feel better, If you just hit this, it's the pleasure, right? The pleasure, we learned it in health and safety. If you just operate at this level of pleasure, it's hard to get those peaks. But if you're down here and you even do the bare minimum, boom, you're up here. That's why, they're always like, guys are always, chasing the bare minimum on purpose. I am mediocre with intent. Could I be amazing? Sure. Oh my God, I could be so amazing. Why am I not? I don't want to create expectations. That's all it is. So some of the most scary things in the world are expectations and corn mazes. You can get lost in both. I would say I'm probably more scared of corn mazes than expectations. And I only revisit both of them probably like once every 2 or 3 years. So it's good. It's like low maintenance. I don't really have to worry about it. It's like somewhere else. It's not in my mind. And no one expects you to ever look at them, But when you do go to one, they're like, oh, how was that? I'm like, it's good. It was nice. But I'm good for a while. I don't need to revisit a corn maze or my expectations, okay? And they're like, what, really? You should probably look at those pretty often. I'm like, no, I don't. Because I'm a guy. I'm amazing as is, okay? This base model should be amazing. Look at me. But then another thing I was thinking about, this was a while ago, is which one do you think is more disrespectful? If you're talking to someone and they look at their watch or they look at their Apple Watch? I think, well, let me give you a second. What do you think? Okay. I think the obvious choice is watch, not Apple Watch. I think it's more disrespectful to look at a watch. Because when you look at a watch, you know exactly what they're looking at, you know? When you're talking to someone and they look at their watch, you're like, well, you're looking at the time. You're wondering, I'm talking to you, and you're like, I wonder what time it is, or I wonder how long it's been. That's the only thing you can look at. You can't look at a watch and be like, I wonder if the hands are still there. I wonder if it still looks. Yep, no, clocks are still the same. No, you would. I wonder what material my watch is made of. No, you're only looking at a watch to be like, what time is it? Whereas an Apple Watch, it's actually not that disrespectful. You could just be like, oh yeah, I'm just sorry. I got a notification. Um, it's gonna be 78 degrees today. Pretty good day. Pretty good day. Light wind. That's good. That could be why they're looking at their watch. Their Apple Watch. Sure, they could be looking at their time, but you don't know that. But with a watch, when I look down at that puppy, it is time and time only, and that fucking hurts. At first, the reason I even thought about this because I was talking to someone, and when I was talking to them, they looked at their Apple Watch, and it immediately I was like, gosh, that seems disrespectful, right? But then I was like, no, it's really not, because it was quick. It wasn't even anything, right? It wasn't like I was talking to them and they were like, uh huh, yeah, no, go ahead, uh huh, yeah. Sorry, what'd you say? It's like, well, then why'd you tell me that? No, they just hit him with a quick glance. They went, oh, yeah. Oh, that was nothing. Sorry, just keep going. That was it. And I was like, that's okay. Because I don't know what they were looking at and I don't need to know. But if that was a normal watch, ooh. If that was a normal watch, they look at it and they go back to you, you got to be like, oh, do you have to go soon? And it would hurt probably even more if they were like, oh, no. Because then just be like, oh, so you don't even have to be anywhere. You were just like, how long has it been? How long has it been? Because it feels like it's been a fucking lifetime. Like, I don't even know if I look at my watch, like, is there going to be a metric or unit of time that could measure what I'm experiencing right now? Because Jesus, this feels long. This is lengthy. This is like a fucking Marvel movie of a conversation right here. Like, Jesus. I was watching this video, and this person had one of those signs behind them. Do you know those signs? It's like a light up sign. You can put your own letters, one of these. They had this in their background and they had put their own message on it because that's what you do with those. And the message was, be a voice, not an echo. It was a quote from Einstein. That's right. It was 3 lines of text. It said, be a voice, not an echo, in quotes. And on the 3rd line, it said Einstein. And I was like, is the fucking irony not damning? Like, do you get how ridiculous that is? Be a voice, not an echo. Bro, you just quoted someone. You are echoing someone's idea. You're basically looking at someone being like, yeah, that's what they said. And the thing they said is, have your own fucking voice. Don't be an echo. Be your voice. Have your own voice. Just like this person said. Bro, what? How do you, that's got to be a joke, right? I didn't even think about that. Maybe this person's a funny jokester, because the person has to be a comedian, because that's idiotic. That's stupid on like a fucking comedic level. Because you can't put that on there. You can't think of that quote, then find all the stupid little letters, lay them out, and then put them in that little thing and be like, yeah, I like that. And then put it in the fucking background of this video. You have to be a funny guy, don't you? I I don't even know how to articulate like how crazy that is to me, but that's fucking wild. Be a voice, not an echo. And to quote someone saying that, you are I know this is going to sound stupid, but peanuts, when you chew a bunch of peanuts, it tastes like peanut butter. I know that sounds fucking ridiculous, okay? Because yes, peanut butter, peanuts. But it was kind of shocking, like how close chewed up peanuts tasted like peanut butter. Like I literally was like, oh, this is that shitty natural peanut butter that people eat. When I just had some peanuts earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the same sensation as peanut butter. I was like, that's wild. Because I know it's ridiculous to think, like, what did you think they would taste like? Fucking peaches? Well, I don't know. You know, Schrodinger's peaches? Schrodinger's nuts? What? Yeah, bro, you got Schrodinger's nuts in your mouth, but you thought they were going to taste like peaches. All right. Yeah, I thought you thought fucking Schrodinger's nuts were going to be juicy, huh? You're going to have Schrodinger's nut juice in your mouth, bro? What'd you just say, man? No, I get it's normal for peanuts to taste like peanut butter when they're chewed up, grinded up, you know? When you grind up those nuts up against the roof of your mouth and all up in your tongue. But it was still shocking, you know? Like what's another thing that tastes like that? Like fucking orange juice. Actually, orange juice tastes like orange juice. Apple juice. Apple juice does not taste like apple juice. Like they fucking like if you buy apple juice, it tastes like, oh yeah, this is some weird like process. They did something to this shit. But peanut butter, I was like, oh, I get it. Like the equation makes sense. Like apple juice, I don't really like it's not clear how you go from an apple to apple juice. Now if you get like the natural apple juice from like Apple Hill or like fucking the supermarket or the farmer's market, it makes sense. You're like, I get what you did here. But if you get apple juice from like the grocery store, you know, fucking real golden colored stuff. Apple juice from a grocery store looks like piss, like dehydrated piss. That means you need more water. If your piss looks like apple juice, you gotta be taking more water, okay? But that apple juice, you know, the piss dehydrated fucking apple juice, um, that I'm confused. Like I look at an apple, I taste an apple, I'm like, uh-huh. And I look at apple juice, I taste apple juice, I'm like, I don't get how did you, you know? Who's hmm, who's the father? I don't really get how you know, there was some meddling going around here. Okay, so a little apple medley, I would say. Like, I would DNA test the fucking apple juice because I don't. Did that come from an apple? I'm not sure. Whose seed is where? That's what I'm wondering. But with nuts, it's very clear. Peanut butter came from the nut. Is there's a clear. I get where the nut traveled. Okay, there was no other nut getting its hands dirty in there. It's clear. Peanut butter comes from peanuts. But does apple juice come from apples? I don't know. A lot of fruit juices. It's concerning. And you see that with Gatorade, right? I fucking don't know what's in Gatorade. I think I've talked about this before. No idea what's in Gatorade. I don't even know what the fuck Gatorade is. I'll happily drink it. But to be like what what's in a Gatorade flavor? Lemon lime. You taste lemon lime Gatorade and you're like, okay, yeah, it tastes like lemon lime. Where the fuck did this liquid come from? Like, what did you do to create this liquid? I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. But it's clear with peanuts and peanut butter. So, again, that's not like groundbreaking shit. I just was like surprised a little bit. I'm not a frequent peanut muncher, but I munched on some peanuts. I was like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Of course. Nice. Uh, lying is fun. No, okay, hold on. Lying is fun, and don't look at me like that. But I don't lie in like a malicious way. I lie about things that don't matter. Okay, I don't lie to like get out of stuff or like, you know, that whole thing. Like, and I don't even use white lies. White lies still get you out of stuff, right? I use lies for the sake of lying. I enjoy it. Okay. And you're like, God, what are you talking about? Well, I'm like, you know, if someone's like, they visit your place and you have a painting and they're like, did you paint that? Yeah. Did I? No. But yes, I did. It's I like stuff like that. Because that's good. That's just it's great. It allows you to live in a reality that doesn't exist. The reality is that I am giving into here is the reality in which I painted that painting. When I say, yeah, I painted that painting, I'm saying that, oh, yeah, now we live in this reality that's not real. And that's great because the reality we actually have, the real reality, oh, it fucking blows. So I like these little lies that like make me live in a different reality. And you're like, oh my God, isn't that what like a chronic gaslighter does? Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, definitely. Hmm. Good. Okay. Fair point. But I like these. I like going along with a lie and then just doing that. Not letting it go very far. I don't want it to get legs and run away, but I like having a conversation that is just made up. That's most of my conversations. They're hypothetical and don't matter, but that's what I like. It creates this reality that doesn't exist. That's why I don't, people are always like, oh, what'd you do recently? What'd you do over the weekend? Do we, is this reality that we live in so great that we have to recount the events of it? Do you really want to hear about how I woke up at 1 p.m. and then I did dishes and watched a movie? Do you really want that shit? Or or do you want to hear about how I painted a masterpiece, right? Oh, what'd you do over the weekend? I saved a fucking elementary school from a burning building. On a weekend? Yeah. Yeah, these kids need more help than others, okay? What's wrong with that? Maybe that's how the fucking building got lit on fire. You ever think about that? They're not too smart. They need more school. They light buildings on fire, okay? My little non-academic arsonist out there, I had to save them. And then let's talk about this. Let's talk about like, oh yeah, oh, how would you even save like, okay, 10 kids from a burning building? And then you got to have the conversation where it's like, well, not all of them would make it. And then how do you decide that? See, that's a conversation I want to have. I don't want to tell you that I fucking did a load of laundry. Bro. Oh yeah, my fucking trash can wasn't working. Uh-huh. So I had to Google how to fix that. Uh-huh. But they didn't. They get this. The trash can I have so old. You couldn't find the model information online. So I was thinking, should I just get another trash can? But then I was like, no, I want my money to be used on something else. So I'm gonna fix this trash can. So I did. Bro, what are we talking about? The reality in which we live in is so fucking shit that why do we talk about it so much? And that's not to say that there's not amazing things in the reality that we live in, but like I don't get why we talk about it so much. Like we're already living in it, right? Oh no, this guy's going crazy. Yeah, of course. Because we live in a world in which people will tell you for 5 minutes about how they fixed a trash can. How do you not go crazy? But that's why I lie. And that's why I enjoy lying. Because it's fun. It's world building. It doesn't matter. And that's probably a better way to frame it. To be like, no, I like telling stories that don't exist. I like making up stories on the fly. I don't like lying. I actually really have a hard relationship, a very difficult relationship with lying. I don't think we are compatible. I don't like doing it. Omitting information, I can do that all day. I can, but I can't just lie. I can't tell a thing that's not true. So I omit and I world build, you know? But I think a lot of people know that is lying. So yeah, I fucking love lying. Lying is great. Because when you sit, your back hurts. When you lie down, your back never hurts. Oh, okay. Now he's doing wordplay. Look at this guy. But I think lying is so great. What's a good example of lying? I feel like I didn't fully convey my point with the whole painting thing. I think it's um I think it's like this. If someone else is going to tell you a story or they want to like express an idea to you, they'll be like, "Oh, do you know this thing?" Now there's a fork in the road, a two-pronged fork. You can either be like, "I know that thing," or you can be like, tell the truth and be like, oh no, I don't know what that thing is. If you say that, now for the next X amount of minutes, you have to talk about what that thing is. The other person has to build context that they think you need to have the conversation. I say a lot of times you don't need the context. You're smart. You can use context clues to piece it together. You don't always have to know the thing to have the conversation. That's what working will teach you. Work will teach you that you don't have to know what you're talking about to get the job done. And so most of the time it's better just to be like, yeah, I know the thing. Now, in a couple seconds, if you realize, oh, we're getting deep into this, I should know what this is. Yeah, take the pause and be like, actually, sorry, can we, maybe I don't know it that well. What is that? Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. Okay, yeah, no, continue with your idea. But if you're the guy that's like, I don't know that thing, so we can't have this conversation, fucking, what are you doing? You know how hockey has 3 periods? No. Uh, okay. Well, it does. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, okay. Well, the beauty of my question was I kind of gave you the information inside of it. So it doesn't really, it was a rhetorical question, really. You could have just said yes because now you, yeah, why are you the way you are? Why'd you have to say that? Why? Now you can choose that opportunity and make a joke. Someone could be like, hockey has 3 periods. And be like, oh yeah, I play hockey my entire life. See, that's the example of lying I enjoy. If someone's like, hockey, I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking love hockey. No, I don't. I enjoy hockey as a visual experience. I've never played. It's fun to watch. But I don't need to be serious with that person that second. Oh, you like hockey, right? Go along with it. Don't say, no, shut the fuck. By then, no. You've lost. You fucking lost. When you start being honest in conversations, that's when you lost. That's why lying is amazing and you have to lie all the time. It makes life more enjoyable. If you don't lie, if you are honest all the time, you are a bad person. And I'm not talking about those people that are like, yeah, I'm just brutally honest. No, you're an asshole. Have you ever met that person? That's a scary person. You gotta stay away from this person. The person that's like, I'm brutally honest. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Bro, you're not going to be cooking for anyone because you are a toxic motherfucker, man. You got to like. I'm not mean, I'm just brutally honest. Uh huh. Is that what you call that? Cool. Let me ask your friends what they think. Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't fucking have any because they all hate you now because you're brutally honest. You dumb fuck. uh, but yeah. And I don't see it as lying. This thing of like saying I like hockey, I see it as just it's nice. If you can say it a certain way. If someone's like, "Yo, you like hockey, right?" If you say yes the right way, now you guys have rapport. You guys both realize, "Oh yeah, I don't really give a fuck about hockey, but let's talk about it." That's what makes that conversation so amazing. You both are now on the same page without even really acknowledging it. That's what's so beautiful about lying. Or I guess, doing a bit. That's another way to call it, right? You're doing the bit by playing a human that enjoys hockey. But obviously you don't like hockey because it's hockey. No one likes hockey. But if you're the fucking honest person that's like, oh, no, I don't really follow hockey. I know, no one does because it's hockey. Once again, it fucking blows cocks. But can we just, for the sake of this, can you just say you like hockey? But I don't. Yeah, no. I got that. And everyone does. Everyone in the world gets the you don't like hockey. No one likes hockey, okay? That's the joke. I'm playing the bit of someone that's enjoying hockey. And you're playing the bit of someone that, oh yeah, also enjoys hockey. If we want to talk about real shit, we can both say, yeah, hockey sucks, and then talk about how we fixed a trash can for 30 minutes the other day. But neither of us want to do that, right? Because we want to enjoy life. We want to live in a reality in which we actually have fun and not talk about how we break appliances and then spend our weekends fixing them. So yeah, I hope as these last 2 months of the year wrap up, you go forward with the idea and the methodology and the strategy, the tactic of lying more. I find, and you're going to be at family gatherings. It's a very communal time of the year, holidays. That's why we all love them. It's when there's the most love in the air. But sometimes, people choose to exhibit hard love. That's what they call it, where they're brutally honest. You see the grandparent after a while and they're like, wow, you really filled out. And you're like, you don't have to. Okay. You don't have to say all that. You could just say, nice to see you. It might not be. But the nice thing to do here would be to lie. So, yeah, for these next 2 months, go forward with love and lies. And you'll find you'll be in a much better place. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you next week. Okay?